Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Uncommon Pallor. So the vinyl tags are all behind us. My contest is posted and getting a surprising amount of entries, I might add. So thanks to everyone that has put one of those together. Um, I'm going to do the draw for it on Sunday, March 5th. So if you're still thinking about doing it, you have till say the 4th to submit one and let me know about it. I've done a playlist for all the ones that I've received so far. So if you want to look at that, if you've done one and you're not in it, then please let me know. Um, Otherwise, on March 5th, your names will all go into the MoFi celery, and hopefully I'll draw your name and you'll get some free records. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to chip away at this stack of old punk singles that have been building up here over the last several months. The first one, I did actually show in one of the vinyl tags, but I'm going to show it again here. Why? Because it's my channel and I can do what I want. So I'm good. 1977, Refill Records. The Desperate Bicycles, Smokescreen, backed with handlebars. Uh, the Desperate Bicycles were kind of the cornerstone of the UK DIY movement of the late 70s. Their sole intent when they formed with this band was to create, uh, record, and make available their own music by any means they had available to them. And that's exactly what they did. And they did a goddamn good job of it. Uh, Smokescreen, probably my favorite Desperate Bicycles track. Uh, it it conjures up a very specific scenario in my head, which at my age may or may not be a red flag, but I digress. Um, yeah, I just picture a guy walking down the street in an old timey yet well fitting suit, derby hat, monocle's optional, definitely a walking stick. Hey, he's just minding his own business, walking down the sidewalk. He happens to look over, and in front of a store, there's a piano sitting out front. So what does he do? What does every guy in a old-timey yet well-fitting suit with a derby hat, an optional monocle, and a walking stick? What does that guy do in this situation? Well, of course, he goes and busts into a bouncy, upbeat, kind of a ragtime song. I know I would. But yeah, so that's the basis, the foundation of the song is this bouncy, jangly kind of ragtimey track, with intermittent weird noise riding over top, and painfully British vocals as you would expect. It's a great song. When I feel weird enough to listen to something like this, it hits me exactly where I need to be hit. It's great. The B side, Handlebars, much more experimental. It's very tumultuous, kind of urgent. The pacing's kind of urgent. There's a constant build up to the song. It's got a bit of a sinister feel about it, but yeah, it just constantly builds up, and then you get to the end of the track, and it's just done, and that's it. Uh, Definitely more experimental. I find the A side more enjoyable, but the B side definitely interesting. So, yeah, the first single by the Desperate Bicycles on Refill Records, 1977. But wait, there's more. Also on Refill Records from 1977, the Desperate Bicycles' second single, The Medium Was Tedium. On the B side, you have Don't Back the Front. As with the other Desperate Bicycle single, the A side is my preferred side. The Medium is Tedium. Again, urgent, a little bit sinister. There's church organs, ripping through this thing. Painfully British vocals again. Just a well-crafted track. The B side, Don't Back the Front, is also, very experimental. Um, it's got the keyboards kind of sound like an NHL hockey game, and there's a really weird plunking, meandering kind of bass thing going on. Very, very strange track, yet very cool. The second Desperate Bicycle single, right there, 1977, England. Okay, staying in Britain, self-titled, 3-track, 7-inch, by a band called The Groove. It's on Trendy Records, 1980. It's very young sounding. It's very simple. catchy. It's got that toe tapping thing going on. They sound like they're having fun. The drummer especially sounds like he's having fun. Like I said, 3 tracks on here. You got I Want to Be Your Pygmy, What Am I Gonna Do About You, and Heart Complaint. I had heard Heart Complaint before because it's on the Back to Front comps, I think number 2. Yeah, it's a very good record that I've never seen turn up, so I grabbed it. But I would like to call special attention to this guy. The guy bent in this weird, unnatural position. I'm thinking he's maybe half garter snake on his mother's side, but I could be full of shit. I showed this on the Doctor and the Kid live stream a while back. Vinyl Richie and I both agreed that this guy's the fancy lad of the band. I think he may be the singer, but I'm not positive. But yeah, that's fucking weird. But anyways, The Groove, 1980, Trendy Records. Now to 1977, EMI Records. Advertising, Stolen Love, backed with Suspender Fun. This is definitely some mod power pop stuff. Kind of like maybe a more upbeat version of the Chords. It definitely has kind of a mainstream appeal to it. Like I wouldn't at all be surprised if they had charted in the UK at one point in time. But it's a fun record. 2 very competent songs. So if you're into the whole mod revival power pop thing, then maybe check out Advertising. Next, from 1979 on Voyage International. It's AD 1984. The Russians Are Coming, backed with New Moon Falling. I was always under the impression this band was from Wales, but there are conflicting reports that they're just, from England. So I'm not sure, but it's a good record. The A-side, The Russians Are Coming, it starts out with this weird kind of squonky, stomping kind of beat going on, kind of wavering vocals, and then you get halfway through the song, and that's where the Stranglers influence jumps in. They're kind of like a less eloquent Stranglers when they do it, but the keyboards are definitely Stranglers-esque. And then the B-side, New Moon Falling, is more of it's more of almost like a 70s glam song. Very well done. Both songs are great. They just don't really sound alike. But all in all, both songs on this are this record's a winner, as far as these 2 songs are concerned. I'd be interested to hear more by them, but I don't think anything exists. But yeah, AD 1984. Next up on Flak Records from 1982. This band's definitely from Wales, as you can see by the Nightmare language, the one that humbles me. The band is called Alic Samudiad. The A-side of this record is that. Lleisiau or Gorffennol. I know Andy over at Cloudy Milder is probably shaking his head in disgust right now, but that's the best I could do. Yeah, this song, not so good. It reminds me of an early 70s, vocal band like the New Seekers or some such shit. The real winner is the B-side, Dylan E. Sabon. It's not really power pop, but it's more of kind of like a bouncy, just a melodic, like a poppy punk song. And it's very good. The fact that this record has kind of shitty production, I think actually adds to it and just makes that, makes the song, well, the B-side song, that much better. It's totally good. I bought it for that song. I kind of was hoping the A-side would be better, but nah, it sucks. So yeah, Alic Samudiad, Lleisiau or Gorffennol from Wales. All right, we're moving to Scotland. 1980 on Angular Music. It's Exposure, Video Eyes. And the B-side is Style and Fashion. This is great. Video Eyes is a fantastic synth-punk song. It kind of sounds like you're floating through space with David Bowie. It's not a super prevalent Bowie influence, but I can totally tell it's there. And I'm not a huge Bowie fan, so if I can hear it, then it's definitely there. But yeah, Video Eyes is a great song. One of my my favorite ones that I've picked up in a while, actually. The B-side, it's good, Style and Fashion. It's good as well, but it's not as good as Video Eyes. The drummer on this is comedian / talk show host Craig Ferguson, although he's credited on this record as Adam Eternal. But he also played in the Dream Boys, but I like Exposure a bit more than the Dream Boys. So yeah, this is a totally good record. If you're into synth punk, weird kind of post-punk stuff, then check out Exposure. It's not a very expensive record. All right, staying in Scotland. It's from 1979 on A1 Records. The Freeze, In Color. This is like a perfect mix of like late 70s UK punk and post-punk. It's got kind of buzzsaw guitars. You can hear a little bit of wire maybe in it, but it's also got the kind of like dream sequence kind of sad sackiness about it on some of the tracks. But yeah, definitely a pretty good band. They eventually went their separate ways, and members started a band called Cindy Talk, who I'm unfamiliar with. And one of them went on to be kind of an occasional member of This Mortal Coil, which is interesting. But yeah, The Freeze. Not to be confused with the Cape Cod, Massachusetts, The Freeze. All right, another Scottish band from Glasgow. It's The Real People EP by The Exile. This is just really good, catchy, competent, late 70s UK punk. Kind of chugging guitars, I suppose. The vocals, they have an adequate amount of strain to them. I had heard the track The Real People somewhere. It's on a comp somewhere. All three tracks on this record are good. You got The Real People, Tomorrow Today, and Disaster Movie. It's on Charlie Records. It's from 1978. But yeah, never see this one around. I like the song The Real People. It was available to me, so I grabbed it. So yeah, The Exile. And the last one for the Scottish bands. This one's probably a little better known than the other ones I've shown, but Zones, Stuck With You, backed with No Angels. It's on Zoom Records from 1978. This band is kind of an amalgamation of two other bands. You had PVC2 when Midge Ewer or however the hell you pronounce his name, he left to go be an Ultravox, so it left PVC2 without that guy. So they joined forces with another band called Silk, who I am unfamiliar with, but and started Zones. So it's members of Silk and PVC2. Kind of just rocking late 70s UK punk. There's a pretty heavy glam influence to it, especially on the B side. Both very competently played tracks, and they're fairly well known. They eventually split up, and members went on to be in the Skids. So, yeah, Zones. All right, Ireland, 1978, Mulligan Records. It's the Vipers. I've Got You, backed with No Such Thing. I don't know a whole lot about this band. I know the A side, I've Got You, is kind of more of a 50s style rock and roll number, whereas the B side, No Such Thing, is more of kind of like a mod power pop thing, maybe a little more boisterous than most, but that's the Irish. But yeah, it's a good record. The B side is stellar. The A side's it's all right. The B side is stellar. So yeah, 1978 Mulligan Records, The Vipers. I've Got You. Now we go to the Netherlands. Here's a band that's been getting a lot of attention lately because their LP was reissued. I know I've seen Ryan Kidd and Dr. October give it some love, and some others. Forgive me if I don't recall who it was, but yeah, we're talking about the Flyin' Spiderz. This is a City Boy backed with I Don't Want to Go. It's on EMI Records from 1977. Bass-driven, definitely kind of, strained vocals, kind of rollicking, really. The B-side, a little more sedate, not quite as rollicking, still goddamn great. So yeah, two good songs here. The LP's great as well. So the Flyin' Spiderz, Yeah, they've got it going on. Eventually, they became just the Spiderz, and I think they might have went in a more mainstream direction, but I'm not 100% positive. I've seen photos of them as the Spiderz, and they look a little more mainstreamy, but maybe that's just me being a judgmental prick. Get off my lawn. Flying Spiderz, City Boy. Now over to France, 1977 on Pathé Records. It's a band called Starshooter. It's Pin-Up Blonde backed with Quelle Crease Baby. I was familiar with Quelle Crease Baby because it's on one of the Killed by Death comps. I'd never heard Pin-Up Blonde. Both songs are great. Super fun. Like walking bass lines. The drums sound like shoe boxes. Just a lot of fun. Very punchy vocals. I've watched a couple of actual videos by these guys, and it's running around looking like idiots, acting like idiots, and having a great time doing it. I'm definitely going to check out more Starshooter. I hope this isn't the only gem of the bunch. But yeah, this is great. I don't even know why I waited so long before picking this up, because I have always liked the song Quelle Crease Baby, and yeah, now that I know they have other stuff that's equally as good, I will pick more up. Not very expensive either. So yeah, Starshooter, France. And last, we're going to Sweden. It's a band called Twist Off. It's Kalla Trend, backed with, oh boy, Barn I Framandland. Yeah, my Swedish isn't up to snuff, but yeah, this is kind of a mash of styles. It's predominantly a rock record, but there's definitely some hard rock influences in it. There's a bit of power pop and there's a bit of punk. Female vocals. It's just very well done. It's just not 100% punk rock if you're thinking about grabbing it. There's definitely a rock element to it, but it's totally acceptable. It wasn't very expensive. I grabbed it just to pad out a Discogs order I had done to make the postage more sensible to me. But yeah, from Sweden, Twist Off. It's on Sonnet Records from 1982. So yeah, that's the first installment of that stack of singles. I've got a whole bunch more, so that'll probably be my next few videos, unless I think of some offbeat topic to address, which I very well might. So anyways, thanks again to everyone that has entered the contest. Again, you have until March 4th to get an entry in, because I'm going to draw it on the morning of March 5th. I have made a playlist, so you can go check that out. If you've done a video, you're not on it, please let me know somehow. My email and Instagram and shit is in my About section, so you can definitely get a hold of me, or you can just comment on the video and hope it shows up. So yeah, have a good day. I'm out. Later.